I'm going to come out as a hater
Of?
Charlie XCX saying Kamala's Brat.
Yeah,
cringe.
Brat's
Cringe.
over now.
Brat
It's
summer's
done.
over.
Over.
She's
What?
ruined it.
Finished.
How long has it been? It's not even 6 weeks.
Did you miss
Yeah.
Brat summer?
No, I don't think I missed Brat Summer. I think Brat was starting. Then my own Brat arrived.
I don't understand how... That's very good.
It's a real Brat
You guys
summer.
have missed me, yeah. I've got a Brat life now.
Kamala Harris is not Bic lighter and white t-shirt with no bra. Like, she's the Vice President of the United States.
Is that what Brat Summer means?
Yes.
Sounds quite good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was cringe that Charlie XCX has endorsed Kamala Harris.
What was she thinking doing that?
I don't know. It's cringe.
Like, it's so over. It's done.
Yeah.
I think Brat Summer was the only thing keeping me alive. Like, it was the only exciting thing that has happened in the past couple of weeks.
That's not remotely true.
And now it's over.
An album came out and you were like, otherwise I'll jump in the Thames.
The Tory government collapsing behind Ava as she walks over Westminster Bridge. God, this new album's really good.
Girl.
Is that a song? I don't know.
Yeah.
Girl.
Girl's so confusing. The Lloyd remix.
That's one you like, is it?
Yeah.
Will you give me a little sample?
That's all I got.
Cool.
I saw 2 people do it at karaoke on Friday and it was actually very good.
Did they?
I didn't
That's
think,
a really good karaoke song.
I didn't think it would lend itself well to karaoke, but they did it with aplomb. Oh fuck! I remember this. Sorry, this is absolutely nothing to do with American politics or politics at all. At this karaoke thing I was at on
Fits in
Friday,
well with the podcast.
there was this guy who was quite a bit older than everyone there. The organisers didn't really seem to know who he was. He seemed to be
was
by
he our
himself.
age?
He was like 29,
Yeah.
Scottish accent.
29, 30.
Kept picking people up, asking them for a twig.
I'm going to say he was 50s. He's wearing like cargo shorts and a white Canterbury polo top. And he went up on stage and
Oh, don't tell me, I'm in a relationship now.
and did all these things that I've done by the Killers.
Oh.
And he tried to stage dive, and the crowd density was like the 3 of us. But he continued from the floor. He was like lying on his back doing it. And then he went up, and then his white polo shirt was absolutely filthy.
I bet.
It was bizarre.
There was a good Killers moment. I can't remember which England game it was now.
The same as.
Was it the semis?
Yeah.
And then they did Mr. Brightside. I think that's pretty peak millennial English man, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that that's like the peak, like the best thing that could have ever happened. And I was really excited for you to say that.
After becoming a father.
Yeah.
This is better.
Do you think Harris versus Trump has a different outcome to Biden versus Trump?
I think that Harris versus Trump in a presidential debate is a snooze fest.
No way. Trump's still there.
Yeah, well, okay, Trump on the... Listen, he always gives,
He always
all right?
delivers.
He always delivers. What's she going to say? She's going to say something like... She's going to be like Hillary Clinton when she was like stood awkwardly clutching the podium and saying things like, I'm looking for a kinder, gentler politics.
I think they'll have learned from that. They'll have learned what beat Trump and what didn't. So I think you're imitating Hillary Clinton. I'm not sure she will. She knows it's not the model to follow.
Do you think that there's a lot... I think like Harris versus like JD Vance would have been fun. That's that's a good pairing.
That would have been fun.
It's interesting now that I read in The Atlantic that they picked JD Vance to fight Biden. They like didn't pick JD Vance as like a unifier. They picked him to like appeal to like the mental fringes. So now versus Harris, they have to kind of they have to redo their entire campaign.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, because
Totally.
the problem is when you pick someone who's got like not potentially racist views or wants to push a quite racist agenda, it doesn't land as well when you're doing it to a person of color. Like if you can bounce off of Biden and be like, oh, you want to let the illegals in, do you? You like the people of color, do you? It's got some weight with it. When you're just shouting, it just comes off racist.
I think they're going to struggle now, having just watched the RNC, where the entire thing is was casting Trump as kind of strong, active, younger, more capable versus old, decrepit, frail Biden, I imagine they are absolutely raging.
Furious
that this has happened, because they now have to figure out their attack lines and recalibrate, because obviously the candidate, if it's Harris or not, is going to be younger than Trump, right? Trump is now the oldest presidential nominee in history. And all of that messaging up until now is essentially redundant. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's like a massive strategic success for the Democrats to be having to line up a candidate with 3 months to go. But it is a tricky issue now. Particularly, you're right, figuring out how to attack Harris. I think the border and immigration is definitely one, particularly because Biden gave her that sort of policy area to oversee at the beginning of the administration. But the really sticky point, I think, for them is law and order. And having a black woman former prosecutor versus a convicted felon, I think that's interesting to see how that's going to play out.
In that Atlantic article, the Trump sources said they're going to, on Law and Order, they're going to attack Harris from the left. Because when she was Attorney General of California, there was an overrepresentation of black men in the California penal system.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like, you were being racist.
Yeah, and also put a lot of people in prison on cannabis charges as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's something as well to be said about how much she knew about Biden's decline. When did why were you prepared to back him up until now? Why didn't you do something earlier? When did it become clear to you that he did not have the capacity to be president of the United States? And why did you overlook that?
They've gone for that already, haven't they?
This is exactly my read of why I think Trump wins still. And I've got a bet on it with someone as well. I think this is what's going to happen. Because...
You've got a bet with Nancy Pelosi.
Yes.
No, her husband. He doesn't talk to Nancy.
It's me and Paul. No. I was going to say we're going to have some kind of hammer-based fight, but I just...
Oh my God. It'd trigger both of you.
Yeah. We both start fitting. So, basically, their entire campaign... The Democrats has been good versus evil, right? We need to save democracy, and to save democracy we have to beat Trump and we have to elect Biden. It is, it's the sort of classic Hollywood narrative, moral forces. And they have lost all claim to be the good guys in this, because whether it's Harris, whether it's senior Democrats, whether it's White House staffers, aides, all of the people around Biden who knew what all of us could see, but denied it and said, no, he's sharp as a tack. He's going to win this race, and enabled him. And also, by the way, the massive question mark looming over this is like, who's running the country? If we're saying Biden's too old to run, and you're saying now he's not competent enough to run, who has been running the country, who's been fulfilling that executive function. But essentially now you've been shown to be completely disingenuous. You've relentlessly lied to the American people. So in this context of the forces of good versus the forces of evil, you have no claim to moral superiority now.
I disagree with you. I think the Democrats still have that, in that they can point to Trump's policy platform, Project 25, everything they achieved while in office. It is still an existential threat to the United States. And if that worked with Biden, I don't really know why it wouldn't work again. I think it complicates it. I don't think it takes away their claim to be the good guys.